Hey movie fans, have you seen Ben-Hur, Blade Runner, or Magnificent Seven? If not, then don't you worry, because Hollywood is giving them a second life with upcoming remakes. And these films aren't the exception. In fact, Hollywood has become infatuated with its past successes, flooding the market with remakes, reboots, reimaginations, and revamps. So this week, FilmFish is breaking down the top 4 best and worst remakes of Hollywood classics. For this list, we'll be focusing on strict remakes of Hollywood classics, meaning that adaptations of foreign films such as The Departed and continuations such as Terminator Genisys will be excluded from the list. Furthermore, movies that have gained popularity without providing quality, such as Conan the Barbarian, won't be making our list. So buckle up as we go back to the future and take a look at the new versions of old films.
Marshal Cogburn? Can we depart this afternoon?
First on our list is the 2010 remake of the 1969 John Wayne classic, True Grit. Both films follow the story of a young Maddie Ross as she employs a drunken gun-for-hire, Rooster Cogburn, to track down and bring to justice the outlaw who killed her family. The original, considered a must-watch for Western fans, takes a markedly comedic tone, balancing its dark premise with playfulness, much of which comes from the drunk antics of Cogburn. Splash in some action-packed gunplay and John Wayne's classic all-American persona, and you have a story audiences won't soon forget.
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned, or see you hanged in Fort Smith at Judge Parker's convenience. Which'll it be?
The new version took a grittier and more true-to-life approach to the old story. Rooster is more of a tormented old cowboy than a drunken jolly hero, and the consequences of a young girl fighting outlaws is shown for the suicidal foolishness it is. This film exemplifies one of the better ways to remake a classic. Steal the premise, characters, and themes, but make the rest yours. This can be attributed to the Coen brothers' unique filming style, which gives us a version of the story completely unique from the original.
Help me!
I can do nothing for you, son.
Number 2 on the list isn't just a remake, but a remake of the reboot of the film that started the zombie genre.
Whoa!
Yep, we're talking about Dawn of the Dead. This zombie smash hit follows a nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague that is producing aggressive, flesh-eating zombies as they take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall. The original, made in 1978 by visionary director George A. Romero, focused on the intellectual side of the zombie epidemic, asking deep questions about how society would deal with an unimaginable and undefinable disease spreading at light speed.
The people it kills get up and kill!
The remake follows the same premise but updates the effects and makeup, which, let's be honest, was a little embarrassing. It also infuses it with modern-day action sequences. It's far from a mindless action, however, as it dives beneath the national level and focuses on the emotional decision points that our survivors are confronted with.
Oh God.
Take 3 of the biggest male celebrities you can find, slap them in Vegas, give them a fun crew, and a pile of cash to steal, and you've got yourself a true Hollywood romp. And guess what? That very pitch gave us not just 1, but 2 classic heist movies, both named Ocean's 11. The original, made in 1960, stars all 3 members of the Rat Pack, as well as Angie Dickinson as the estranged wife of the crew's leader, Danny Ocean. The remake stars Hollywood heartthrobs George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon. It carries the same themes as the original, but in many ways updates it to fit modern-day sensibilities. The 2001 remake was so successful that it even sparked a slew of sequels of, well, mixed success.
I want to be positive. I want to find some good to say.
Oh, and did we forget to mention the Ocean series is getting the gender swap treatment with a new release scheduled for 2018, possibly featuring Sandra Bullock as the squad's leader.
Yeah, go Sandy. Go Sandy.
That's long.
You
You
the
the
bus
driver?
Apes! Do not want war!
The last worthy remake on our list is the 2011 sci-fi epic Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Interestingly, this film attempts to be a prequel to the original film series, while not exactly fitting into the original story's mythology, changing the nuclear apocalypse to a biological disease. The original Planet of the Apes follows Charlton Heston as he crash lands on a strange planet ruled by an overclass of apes, only to find that the alien planet is Earth far in the future.
Maniacs! You blew it
In true science fiction form, Planet of the Apes uses its outrageous premise as a simulacrum for real-world issues, specifically nuclear proliferation and organized religion. Its prequel takes a different approach, playing more as a Shakespearean drama than a true science fiction narrative. Furthermore, Rise of the Planet of the Apes places the emphasis on the apes and their burgeoning culture, and in a way makes them even more human than the humans.
Footloose.
Leading off our bad movies is the 1984 dancing drama starring Kevin Bacon as the rambunctious Ren.
I love you.
The movie follows Ren as he tries to change the uptight culture of his southern town that has banned all dancing and rock music. The film is a fun romp that surprisingly appeals for both boys and girls, and it delivered to us a dance that has been endlessly recreated in living rooms nationwide. The 2011 remake did not fare so well, bringing in only $51 million domestically compared to the original's $80 million box office haul. The movie's issue lies mostly with star power. Well, aside from Dennis Quaid, that is.
I can't even get a line out until Dopey the Dick starts whispering in your ear.
The film replaces a young Kevin Bacon with Kenny Wormald and casts Julianne Hough as the love interest, Ariel. And to make it worse, Miles Teller is given sparse screen time as the best friend.
My tell, what's cracking, bro?
On top of that, the dancing featured in the 2011 remake is a far cry from the fun and innocent rock and roll in the original. It replaces it instead with over-sexualized teenagers who, to be honest, need some parenting. The next entry on our list of unfortunate remakes comes from the cinematic genius, Vince Vaughn. Yes, we're talking about 1998's Psycho. This vanity piece took one of the most beloved films from the black and white era and gave it a shot-for-shot remake.
We are same, but different.
The only difference? Worse acting, worse direction, and an audience left wondering why they showed up to the theater. The original combines bone-chilling tension with deeply disturbing psychological mystery and caps it off with a murder sequence that pushes the bounds of what American culture could accept. The second one had, well, color? This Hollywood misfire highlighted why audiences just aren't interested in seeing direct remakes, especially when the original still holds up. This was reflected in the film's box office earnings, as it only barely recouped its budget of $20 million. Compare that to the television prequel Bates Motel, which has received praise from both audiences and critics for putting its own original spin on the classic. On to number 2, with 1951's The Day the Earth Stood Still, considered to be one of the original sci-fi films. The original flick is steeped in Cold War ideology, reflecting America's fear of nuclear destruction and existential termination. It is a slow-burning intellectual drama led by Michael Rennie as the ambassador Klaatu, and his peacekeeping robot Gort, who utilizes his death ray in a precise manner to eliminate culprits guilty of violence and leaving minimal collateral damage. The 2008 remake hits none of the same marks as the original. It replaces thought-inducing questions with CGI-heavy set pieces and flat performances.
You should let me go.
But what can you expect when you cast both Keanu Reeves and Jaden Smith in the same movie?
Whoa.
The film also makes Gort more of a character than Klaatu, giving unnecessary screen time to what is now a death machine, not a peacekeeping automaton. The final entry on our list is held by the 2010 remake of The Karate Kid. The original, released in 1984, tells the story of a bullied teenager and the martial arts master who teaches him to stand up, believe in himself, and fight for what is right. The original Karate Kid had some of the most classic moments in Hollywood culture, from
Wax on, wax off.
to
Sweep the leg.
and features a stellar performance from Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita as the sage-like Mr. Miyagi. Where do we begin with this one? Firstly, it takes place in China. Karate is Japanese. Kung Fu is Chinese. Why not just change the title to The Kung Fu Kid? No one can get mad at that. The film also hits none of the same points that the first does, which can probably be attributed to lowering the age of all the characters from high school to middle school. The film does have one redeeming quality in Jackie Chan's humorous yet heart-wrenching performance as Mr. Han. So there you have it. The 4 best remakes of Hollywood classics and the 4 most inexplicable blunders. It just goes to show that the only sure thing in Hollywood is that there are no sure things.